أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back. Alhamdulillah, we have finished till section 18 till the madud, and our last lesson is second last actually. Our second last lesson is on sifat. So let's start our class. Here, sifat. Sifatul huruf. Sifat is the characteristics of the letters. Okay. So we have letters with we have read makhraj. So makhraj is the articulation point that from which part of the mouth is the letter is articulated. So it is about the makhraj, and the sifat is way of pronouncing a letter by maintaining all the characteristics of a letter. We have to pronounce them, then we can correctly pronounce them, otherwise it will be wrong. Okay, so the study of the characteristics of the letters and their application is very important part of tajweed. The characteristics of the letters are what differentiate letters from others that share the same articulation point. So though the makhraj of a letter of some letters are same, but their characteristics are not same. So it is the characteristics what create a difference between the same articulation points letters. Okay, if the reciter is not applying all the characteristics of the particular letter he is articulating, then the sound will be either like a totally different letter or will be incorrect at very least. Okay, either it will be pronounced like a different letter or it will be incorrect. Linguistic definition of the characteristics of sifat. What serves the purpose of describing the meaning? This can be the way of physical descriptions such as white or black, white and black, or can be abstract descriptions such as education. And applied definition is the mode of demonstration of the letter which it occurs at its articulation point, which differentiates it from others. That means other letters. So the sifat has been divided into two classes: the sifats which have opposites and the sifats which have not opposites, without opposites. So the sifat that having opposites means a sifat which has a opposite characteristics. Okay, so 10 characteristics that have opposites, this pair, there are in pairs. These pairs, sometimes there is more than 2 pair, are those that each letter has one of each, and each letter will be any of the one opposites, not the both. This means that every letter has at least 5 characteristics that never leave the letter. So in among the 10 or 11 characteristics, a letter will have 5 characteristics that will not be missed in any letter. Okay, so the first one is the whisper, al-hams, and its opposite is the apparent or audibility, al-jahr. Okay, we will inshallah discuss them in details. The strength, ash-shiddah, and its opposite is softness, al-rakhawa, and there are in between them the between, at-tawassut. There are it is a kind of balance between them. So it is one kind. So the elevation, al-isti'ala, the lowering, al-istifal, the addition, al-itwabaq or occlusion, or the openness, al-infitah. And another one. So here there is an characteristics which is actually prominent in Arabic language, but has no effect on pronunciation, or it is not found in the Quran, but it is available with the Arabic language. It is the fluency, idlaq, and the forbidden, ismat, or the restraint. Okay, these are the have of opposites, and without opposites, there is the whistle, as-safir, they have no opposites. The ease, al-lean, the deviation, drifting, that means al-inhiraq, the repetition, at-takrar, the spreading out, at-tafashi, the lengthening, al-istitala, the qalqala, al-qalqala or shaking, the gunna, al-gunna. Okay, so it is the summary of how many sifats are there. So let's discuss them in details. Okay, the first one is al-whisper, al-hams in Arabic. Linguistically, it means the concealment, and the applied definition is running on of breath when pronouncing the letter due to weakness in its origin, when weakening reliance on the letter as its articulation point of origin. This means that when any of the letters that have the characteristic of whisper, there is a flow of breath as it is pronounced. The breathing will be flowed, it will not stop. Okay, and this weakness this weakens the letter as running of the breath, when then weakens the strict reliance on the articulation point. The flow of breath is actually weakens the strict reliance, that means reliance on the articulation point, it actually weakens it. Okay, so here is a picture that in case of letter of hams, our vocal cord in our throat gets opened with the flow of breath. Okay, and it is the example for sin letter, sin, as so whenever we are reading with it with haraka or with sukur, in every case there is a flow of breath that never stops, and it actually weakens it to the reliance to the makhraj. Sin, here is the makhraj of sin, and for reason of the flow of fear, it is actually weakening the letter itself. So there are 10 letters in this group: sin, kaf, ta, fa, ha, sa, ha, shin, kha, sod. Two are the letters of tafkhim. There is a phrase given to remember the 10 letters. So it is sakatu, fahathu, shakhsun, or it can be said fahathu, shakhsun, sakatu. So these are the 10 letters in hams group. And then its opposite is al-jahr, audibility. It is defined linguistically as the apparent, and the applied definition is imprisonment of running on of the breath when pronouncing a letter due to the strength in its origin, when strengthening reliance on it at its articulation point. Completely opposite of al-hams, when we can see that that the imprisonment of the running of breath is a strong characteristic, since it's a strong characteristic. It's the weak characteristics. Hams is the weak and the jahr is strong. Since the letter does not have breath running with it, relies on the articulation point more than one that does. The letters that have jahr are all the rest of the Arabic letters that do not have hams. That means except 10 letters, the 19 letters are in jahr. So when we are pronouncing the jahrs, al-jahr hurf, our vocal cord is off and gets closed, and there is a collision and vibration occurs in the vocal cord. Yeah, yeah, I. Okay, ye. Our vocal cord is closed, and the collision and vibration occurs in the vocal cords. Okay, Alhamdulillah. We will discuss the next set in our next class, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.